Well, hello everybody. It's Chadyterian, America's favorite comedian of all time. I have a friend. I know this is shocking. I have a friend, and he called me today. And he's like, "I'd like to see what's going on at Chaderossa since I haven't been there in a minute." So I'm gonna do a walking tour of the Chaderossa at the Holy Motherfucking Chadyterian Church, which is where we're at right now here in beautiful Taos County, New Mexico, USA. So you'll see behind me maybe that this road is absolute dog shit. It is not improved by the county. It is mud, and they've classified it as a forest road because that to my north is the Carson National Forest. I know it looks just like sagebrush and garbage, but it ain't. It is a forest. And anyway, the county doesn't come out here with any kind of services, which is why we say off the grid. Off the grid doesn't mean not on the internet. It doesn't mean hermit, dropped out of society. It means I don't get electricity or water or sewage treatment or roads from the county. I do it all myself. So I did get a backhoe to come out here and ditch this road and dig a DIY culvert across it and a giant pond over here in the northeast corner of the church property. And the purpose was that when we do have monsoon rains, it fill up with water, and I have a seasonal pond here now, which my neighbor noted is generational wealth. I can plant trees along this, and I'm gonna put cattails in there and have a little pond where I can, you know, source thousands of gallons of water at my will. And you can see like the road up here uphill, it's just channels of cascading water coming down when it rains. And so I've dug ditches and figured out a way to channel it all into here. So this quarter acre I'm sliding through right now, I had cleared by that same backhoe, coincidentally. And now this is a camping spot I rent out on Hip Camp for 45 bucks a night. Oh, that's a van. One of my neighbors got stuck when it was raining like a mug. They slid off the road and they're stuck in the ditch, and that's too bad. But you just wait for it to dry out, and then you can just drive right out, and they could do that starting this afternoon, but still have not been back. Anyway, this quarter acre I have seeded with hairy vetch and clover, and hopefully that'll spring up and be beautiful. I can see some grasses starting to poke through right now. Let's see, right here, this big hole is going to be a fire pit, kind of like the one we did at VOG. And this is going to be a rocket stove powered hot tub. And right over here, we have the beginnings of my hyper adobe pit house. So I dug down about 4 feet, and we're doing hyper adobe, which is the mesh bags on a spool. And we're building walls that way. You can do it very quickly. This is going to be an earthship design, essentially, but done with hyper adobe. So 3 walls, solid hyper adobe, about 5 feet in the back, slanted down to the north. And right here on this side, on the north side, I will have a primarily just glass wall. And then bathroom, botanical cell, little entryway over here, and then mudroom, and then a door down into the building itself, which will be about 222 square feet. And I think by everybody's reports and my studies, we believe that it'll perform really well winter and summer without any HVAC or air conditioning. And so I hope to have that completely dried in by winter. We'll see. I won't have any systems in it. It won't be pretty, but I think it'll be livable. So this is some nonsense that the previous owner did that I actually use as a shower stall right now. And here is what we call Linda's shitter. It was her private pooper where nobody else could use. Here's some recycling I've built into the fence that she had established. This is a short bus. I believe it does drive, but I'm told that the transmission or the frame is out of whack, and if you drive it, it'll just chew up the tires. So That's a secondary place for people to stay. And many people have stayed there. Here is a camper that was gifted to me by somebody who was living in it until they couldn't drag it down the road anymore. Now it's this tool shed for me. This is the site of a previous Chaderossa Volunteer Tuesday where we dug a little bit of, we cleaned up all the sagebrush out of here and dug some swales and planted some stuff. And that's doing better than it was. It's still not exactly what I want out of it. This is a shoe that my dog's dragged in from God knows where. A lot of times things just show up on the property and it's something that the dogs decided belonged here. So here is the original driveway behind me and a couple bow wows of note. Puzzle riddle. So this always floods, and it always has because rain comes downhill from the south, and I still need to ditch both sides of the road here and there and make sure this drains off. The overflow from the pond comes straight into this driveway. That's by design. I'd rather have it here than in the road up there. I do want to dig an additional pond here and expand the one I have just to retain more water and soak it in permaculture style. Here's a Dodge Dakota that came with the property. It didn't have reverse and now it doesn't have forward. So I'm going to sell it off as parts. Dug a swale here. There's a lot of thistle growing out of it, but other stuff too. I put some walking onions in there and some other things, a couple plum trees, whatever the hell that is. Oh, that really did grow. Huh. I just, the permaculture guy I've been following around here said to seed it with like 20 different things. So I did. Oh, that looks really good. That's really coming up. Beans are growing in there. Here is just a pallet fortress. I've built basically little dog houses in a circle around the big school bus. So the dogs have a safe place to stay. And here's a dog gate, like a dog park style double lock. This is a little bit messier over here. I need to clean up these things, whatever. You know, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, but that's the big school bus I've been staying in. You can see some solar panels just leaned up against it, and this old shed that's falling down. I need to tear it down before the snow hits because it will fall. But I'm going to probably repurpose some of that stuff as a little deck over the entrance to the bus. Let's see, here's Grand Central Station is what we call it. Here at the Chaderossa is a water tank and a old school cement mixer I bought from a guy. Probably won't use either. His money not well spent, but you know, what can you do? So we're back around here to the site of the pit house. Over here is the shed that previous owner built. That does pretty good rainwater collection. I've bought this IBC tote and hooked it up into the gutter system, so it's full. It's got about 250, 300 gallons of water in it right now. Here's a bunch of materials I'll use to build. I don't know, propane stove, a bunch of solid wood doors, and some beams I got out of a very old adobe building that had collapsed the roof. Here's another camper identical to the one over there. It came with the property as well, and I'm probably going to pull it out of there pretty soon and place it over here just west of that campsite over there and the pond, and put a bunch of kitchen stuff in it so it's more of a community kitchen and another place for people to crash. Here's another IBC tote I use to transport water. So I'm walking west. Up here in the northwest corner is a giant hole. This is the future site. This quarter acre is owned by TaosComedy.com, and this will be the future site of a kiva. I'm going to build it as traditionally as I can. I know a guy here who's building one with hyper adobe, and that's a possibility. I kind of want to use the volcanic stone from Two Peaks in the background over there. I think that would be neat, but we'll see. So up here to the south of this is the herb garden that the previous owner had done. I've kind of let it go. There's asparagus growing there and some other stuff, but honestly, more important to me now is cleaning up this place so I could build and invite people over and not have broken glass and nails everywhere. That was basically stage one. There's still quite a bit of junk though. So this is a field of debris kind of up against her old herb garden. Over here I'm doing some permaculture shit. I've got apricot tree over here. Doesn't look too great. It's alive. But then I've swaled this little C-shaped swales just to keep the water from flowing that way. And again, not putting too much effort into this because I'm just trying to soak water in and stuff while I build, and then I can make it pretty garden later. Here's a bunch of windows and a solar water heater that I scored. So this giant solar water heater is gonna probably be used in this thing. I've got a propane water heater as well, and so I've got a backup in case the sun ain't out or whatever. Here's a bunch of glass that I recovered. This will be my glass wall. I've also got I skipped past it, but I've got a sliding glass door down there that was like $5,000, and a guy in Nashville didn't like it, couldn't return it, gave it away. So I brought that with me. It's very heavy. Probably shouldn't have shipped it across the country, but you know, I didn't know, but it'll go into the thing I'm building. Here's the tire wall I started for my Earthship a year and a half ago. I've got a course and a half done. I injured myself. My dog had puppies, and I've got a lot of excuses for why I haven't made a lot of progress. But the reality is, it takes me about an hour to pound a tire. It's very difficult to get help doing that if you're not paying them. And people aren't excited about it. It moves very slowly, tire wall building. And I found that hyper adobe is easier, less impact, and people are excited about it. So I might finish this Earthship build with hyper adobe using the tires as a base, but we'll see. Here's my F350 in all of its glory. It's got problems. Every truck I've got's got problems, and we're working on it, but it's a slow process, ain't it? So I've got a lot of grass growing here. People were like, don't tear away the precious sagebrush. It's a invasive species, and it sucks, and it chokes out all the other plants, but keep it, otherwise it'll turn into a dust storm. Well, there's grass everywhere, and there's about 3 different types of grass here, primarily because, and they were here, but they won't grow without the sagebrush out of the way. And I've just gone around propagating the seeds, and anytime I'm in town, I'll grab seeds and take them here and spread them, and guess what? That works. So here's the pit garden previous owner built. I expanded it a little bit and have not really built it out yet. I'm gonna tear down these pallets and do a aircrete retaining wall around it and build it out as a wall-pini, but again, that's not a priority. This is my favorite pooper. It's the people's pooper. It's the one everybody was allowed to use. And it's got the best view. Look, you sit here and you're looking right at Taos Mountain. And I don't know, I enjoy it. It's fine. Up here on the west end, existing pallet fence. Part of the fence is built out of seats out of the bus. Whatever. I gotta clean all this crap up. I've organized. There's bottles up here, organized. We'll use those to create a bottle wall. And there's more junk that's left over from the previous lady. A lot of scrap metal. A couple old water heaters. There's piles of tin cans, but this is the last little debris field. I've kind of migrated all this crap up here. This is mostly metal stuff, and I could take it to the scrapyard and get some money for it, but really it's not much more than the gas you spend getting there. So I just want to kind of clean it up and get it out of here. But anyway, here's the first thing she built on the property, which the neighbors called the Death Star. It did have like this industrial shelving all around it. It looked really stupid, and it's not functional in any way. I've used it as a chicken house and as a shower house. I'm gonna tear it all down completely eventually and get it out of here. And this will be the back of the berm of the Earthship. So I may build a Smart Village shower house right there. It's similar in size to this, but actually structurally sound, and use the palatable cobbin technique to make that happen. I think that's a pretty good walkthrough. Here we are at the backside of the berm for the future Earthship. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I love talking about what I'm doing up here at 7,200 feet in Taos County, New Mexico, USA. I love it. I love everything about it. Let's see. I'm not gonna talk about the bus. I'm not gonna take you inside. It's gross, and I need to clean it. But I've strapped. People dump mattresses at the beginning of the neighborhood all the time. It's gross. Why would anybody want that? They just sit there and rot, or somebody sets them on fire. I pick them up and I've strapped them to the roof of this bus, and it helps the temperature stay cool in the summer and warmer in the winter by at least 10 degrees. And so, it's a good way to repurpose those. My friend Rory and Heather built a wall out of box springs. So they put posts in the ground, structurally sound, and then they put these box springs between them and filled them full of their plastic trash, and then plastered over them. Fake Adobe wall, just like they do in town with the traditional construction, slapping plaster on it over rounded corners. It's a good way to build a wall really fast and also have zero stuff going to the landfill. Here's another shed that's kind of behind the short bus, and there's some tools and stuff in there if you want to rob me. But eventually I will take that big shed I showed you earlier with the camper under it and put all my tools in there, wall it in, and have a little tool shed there. Look at this spine. I don't know what this is. I assume it's an elk, but the dogs drag bones in here all the time. I'll take you over to the boneyard. Bow Wows, get out of there. It's I don't know. Chaderossa is a lot different than it was when I first got here. It's I love it. People say it looks homesteady but junky, and I'll take that. So Bow Wow's found this goat mountain. Is it a goat? I don't know what the fuck. The horned, whatever. This one, these antlers, I got from somebody. We were doing a festival in Taos, and a vendor was selling these and giving them away, and so I won one of those in a raffle. Here's another weird spine. Who knows where that's from? Bow Wow's brought it in. This little skull is cool. I like that a lot. Whatever. It's all gifts from the Bow Wows. And here's my patch of prickly pears. There's more on the property than just this. These bloom little yellow buds, and they're beautiful. I don't know. That's the Chaderossa. Here's an anthill. Look at them. They're very beneficial. They will aerate the soil, and they're food for the horny toads, them horned toads. Anyway, I don't have the shade up right here, but out here in front, there's a bunch of chairs and stuff and a place to serve food. And so I called this the Monty's Internet Cafe after my daughter's alter ego. And so, I don't know, I'll put that shade back up before we have another work day, which will be Tuesday. But that's the Chaderossa as it currently stands. You can see my broken down VW in the back over there. I'm on Workaway and couch surfing, and occasionally I get people popping in to do work exchange through those programs or just crash. Sometimes my van life friends pop through and hang out, and I book tours for comedians who come through, and sometimes they come here and do drugs and play music and tell jokes. And you're welcome to do that too. Come on by the Chaderossa whenever you want. Bring a case of the cheapest beer money can buy, and we'll be best friends forever. The road is shit. The last mile, the half mile of road is garbage, and so you kind of need high clearance or a ride in. But yeah, thanks for giving a shit, or at least watching and snickering about how poor I am. But I'm excited about this hyper-adobe build. If you want to be a part of that, we're building one for a friend, single mother Wendy and Kogi, up the hill. We're further along with that than we are with this. It's a good cause, and I would rather you donate to their GoFundMe than mine. But there's a lot of stuff going on here, and you're welcome to hang out. Anyway, this is Chadyterian signing off from the Chaderossa. Come visit, or don't. Come visit me here, or goodbye forever, seen never. Bye.